Hi and welcome. Today we are going to learn about Unity's tile map feature. Generally, while creating a scene in Unity, we just take our game objects and place them one by one inside our scene to make a complete level. But in case of 2D, Unity provides a tool called Tilemap, which can be used to basically paint the level just like this. Like here we can paint the walls, then we can select grass and we can start painting grass. So this is much simpler than what we do, like placing individual game objects. So in this tutorial we'll be learning how to create a tile map in Unity and how to create custom palettes for painting on the tile map. We'll also learn about the Tilemap Collider and the Composite Collider. So stay tuned till the end and make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel. So we have an empty 2D scene. To add a tile map in Unity, you can just go and click on the plus sign in the hierarchy window and go to 2D object, tile map and select the shape. If you created a new 2D project, tile map feature will be available by default. But if you are using a 3D project, then you have to go to the package manager and import the tile map editor package. So after you created a tile map, you'll basically see that you have a grid game object and a tile map game object as the child of the grid. So this is very similar to UI in Unity. So whenever you add a UI game object, it is added as a child of canvas. So canvas has all the UI game object. Similar to that, whenever you add a tile map, it is added as a child of the grid. And you can add multiple tile maps and stack them over each other. Now we'll talk more about why you need to add multiple tile maps when we get into the collider properties. As of now, we'll just learn how to create tile palette for painting in your tile map. So say you have a texture sheet like this. So it has trees inside it. Now if you want to create a tile using this, the first thing to know is whenever you paint inside tile map, it is based on tiles. So if your tile shape is irregular, then it will be very difficult to actually paint. So it's okay to have multiple tiles on a single sprite. For example, this sprite here is actually large in size. So we have basically divided into so many tiles. So it's better to maintain a regular shape for all the tiles rather than having irregular shaped tiles. The problem here is if you have irregular shapes. So for example, I go here, this is an irregular tile. So if I go and try to paint it here, you can see that it is not sitting along with the grid. So this problem is solved if you're using it like this, like we can just select all the tiles here and then paint it here. So make sure when you slice the sprite, you just slice it in by cell size rather than by individual sprites. So how to do that is when you just select the sprite and go to inspector and you'll have the sprite editor here. And if you're dealing with pixel art, then make sure the filter mode is set to point no filter and then click on sprite editor. So inside the sprite editor, select the slice option. By default, Unity automatically slices all the sprite sheets. So we don't want that to happen. We want it to slice by cell size. So select grid by cell size and then select the pixel size based on your image. So I think for this, we can go ahead with 64 cross 64. Or since this is very small in size, we can just say 32 cross 32. So once you have your grid by cell size, just click on slice. Now once you slice the sprite sheet, the next step is to use that to create a tile palette. For that, just go to window and go to 2D and click on tile palette. So this will open up a window like this. So I've already created a tile map, so for you this will be an empty. So just click on this drop down and click on create new palette. Then you can just give a name for the palette. Select the grid shape to be rectangle and then the cell size should be set to manual. And here it is going to be 1 cross 1 and just click on create. So this will prompt you to save the tile palette. Let's save it inside palette. So the new palette basically is empty. So all you have to do is take these sliced sprites and drag them here. Whenever you're dragging these sprites into the tile palette, do not drag them as individual sprites. Just select the parent sprite sheet and drag it in. Then it will basically ask you to say give it a name, select folder. So as you can see, all these sprites are imported in the shape as it was in the sprite sheet. Now if you drag it in separately like this, then it will not maintain this shape and it will be very difficult when you want to draw the whole shape. So once your tile palette is ready, just select one or multiple cells and start drawing. If you do not like the way this tile palette is arranged, or if you want to move around objects inside your palette, select this tool, click on the edit button and then select the object that you want to move, drag it to the new location. And make sure when you've finished editing, you click on the edit button again and it will save the tile palette. Now with all these tools, you can just start to paint whatever you want. So once your level is ready, you can add colliders to it. Now the problem comes when you add the collider to a tile map. So you have to add a Tilemap Collider to this. So it's called Tilemap Collider 2D. Whenever you add a Tilemap Collider 2D, it basically adds a collider to every tile inside the tile map. What if you want to have just a collider for this area? So that is not possible if all your tiles are in the single tile map. So that's why you have to create multiple tile maps. So you can just go ahead and click on the plus sign again and say 2D object tile map rectangular. So that adds another tile map on top of the existing tile map. And inside the new tile map, you can paint the objects where you want the collider to be. So we just select the tile palette, and since now you have more than one tile map, you have to select which tile map you're going to paint on. So select the tile map 1, select the stones and start painting. So once you're done painting, you can just say this, and this tile map contains only this stones. The other tile map contains the stones and the grasses. We don't want the stones on the other tile map, so we'll just go ahead and replace them with empty tiles. So we'll use the eraser and delete these. Okay. So we want the collider only on the stones. So we'll remove the tile map collider from the first tile map because it doesn't have any stones, and we'll add the tile map collider to the new tile map. So now you can see only this area which is in the new tile map is having the colliders, and the one which is on the back is not having any colliders. Now to decide which one comes on the top and which one goes on the back, you can use the order in layer and set this to 2 maybe. Yeah, and this is set to 0. So the one which is having the higher number in order in layer will be in the front. You can also use the sorting layers to sort them. To know more about the sorting layers and the order in layer, I have a complete tutorial for that. You can go ahead and watch that video. Tilemap Collider 2D is not very efficient for large maps because it adds a collider to every single tile. Now Unity has an option called Composite Collider, which basically combines all this into a single collider. So you just have to select the tile map to which you have added the Tilemap Collider 2D and click on Add Component and add Composite Collider 2D. Now when you add the Composite Collider, it also adds a rigid body to the tile map. Now rigid body will make the tile map move, so if it is an environment, make sure you select the body type as static, and inside the Tilemap Collider 2D you have to check used by composite. So once that is checked, the Composite Collider will be able to work with the Tilemap Collider 2D and combine your single individual colliders into a large big one. So this makes it very efficient, and you will be able to work with large maps without much performance issues. So now we know how to create a tile map, how to use a custom sprite in your tile palette, and how to use that to basically draw on the scene and also add collider to it. So that concludes our tutorial on Unity tile map. So if you have any other questions, you can feel free to leave them in the comment box below.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share.